Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So all around town radio show is where I go for the latest band info. So all around town radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio Show. The All Around Town Radio. It's the Weekend Review. It's a Bible coming for you. We're speaking with the fans. Sometimes they don't show well, whatever, man. We're covering who's playing out off the open jam with the who's who of talent. Come Friday night, ready to raise some hell.
All right, let's raise some hell. Why not? I guess. Hello, Nick Wheeler. Good to see you over the weekend, my friend. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Where's all the noise coming from here? Turn that down. All right. Kevin Cooper in the house. Good to have you with us. Edward Wiki. Gina McCann. Rainy days and Tuesdays get you down, Ed. They do. Every day's been rain. I'm telling you, this rain needs to go. It does. Hi, Gina. What's up? Valerie, David, Linda, thank you for being with us today. All right. Well, welcome to the program. Yeah, everybody. Good to have you with us today. I'm trying to find my co-host. She is missing in action. And she did receive the link, so I don't know. We'll see what happens today. Welcome to Hot Topic Tuesday with the missing Ceris and Scott. Good to have you with us today on this wonderful Tuesday. Lower third isn't working in case you're putting the comments up. That's interesting, whatever that means. I don't know. I'm seeing it on my iPad. So, yeah. Carrie, how are you? Hello to Carrie. Halfway Hammered in the house. Jonathan Grooms has joined us today. And Kevin says, okay, it's working. There we go. All right. Glad to hear it's working. Let me send another text message. I'm trying to see here. Hang on, folks. I'm sorry. I apologize here, but you know, it's what happens when you both are busy and you come in like 1 minute before normally is what we normally, that's our standard mode of practice. And I just text her. She texts me and asks if I was okay. She must be having trouble accessing or something. Yeah, but it does say episode 112, Hot Topic Tuesday. So we're okay there. Hi, Bill. Hey, we've got a good topic for you today. If anybody remembers the one we mentioned last week, Ceris and I could not remember, and I tried to listen to the show from last week and couldn't pick up on it, but we said something we were going to bring up today as well as kind of a follow-up to last week's show. And she says she's waiting backstage here since 4:53. Interesting. I'll tell her I don't see her. Don't see you. Interesting. Sorry, guys. This is live. This is live stuff, you know. Stuff happens. I'll leave that up, Jonathan Grooms. Stuff happens. I just told her to get out and get back in. Try it here. Topic is drunk musicians on stage. Well, yeah, thank you, Kevin. We both couldn't remember that, but yeah, drunk musicians on stage. We'll hit on that one today. We've got another one to talk about too if I ever get my co-host in here. We're trying. We are trying here. I don't know what's shaking. What's shaking? Let me see if I can invite her again. Miss Ceris. Miss Ceris. Have her stand up. She is short. Yeah, she's not making it on the screen, is she? If she's backstage. Not making it on the screen. I'm going to try to send her the link again, people. We'll do that and see what happens. But we'll get started here in just a minute. Welcome to the program. It is a Tuesday, Hot Topic Tuesday, as we always say. And something is not jiving today with Miss Ceris. I don't know. Don't know, people. Don't know. I'm going to try to send it again and get her in. See what shakes here. So while you all sit out there and wait, somebody talk about something. We'll see. We'll see what shakes. Who knows? This may be a short-lived show today, people. It may be. I don't know what's going on, but something. We're texting back and forth, if you can see, and she's sending me screenshots and things. She says, "I'm in, but still blank." Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's interesting. Let's see. She's not a block guest. We had to block somebody the other day, but she's not it. Yeah. So there we go. Don't know what to say. So the topic we were going to do today is this. The topic is revisiting again issues going on out there with stage volume and sound, people not being able to control the overall volume in the room. I know we beat that dead horse, but it keeps coming up. People keep sending messages. It keeps happening. And yeah, Carrie said there was a guy in the park singing Italian songs. Yes. How about them Reds, Rick Piper? Yeah, how about it? I have no idea. And let me see if I can zoom in on this and see what it says. Backstage, the host can add you at any time. Be ready. So bizarre. How bizarre? How bizarre. Anybody know how to fix it? I don't know. It says having issues. Yes, I'm having issues. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I typed in can't see someone who's waiting backstage, and of course it didn't come up with anything. Wonderful. This sucks. It does. It sucks. But, like I said, it may be short-lived. Thanks for watching today, everybody. Hope you're having a great day out there. Yeah. Oh, my. Now it's just taking me right out of the mix. There we go. Ceris is restarting her computer, and we're going to try it from there and see what happens. So give me a minute. But while we're talking, let's talk about... if we can, let's chat a little bit about this interesting topic of stage volume again. And I'll just lead off and say I saw a band last Thursday, and the band's really good. And unlike the one that I kind of trashed out on Facebook the one time because I was pissed at the way their sound person was acting, I want to say this band is really good. And they were so freaking loud The room was full. And when I'm saying full, I'm talking 250 to 300 people full. And it emptied out as that band played their first set. Only the band faithful stayed. And interesting, Jonathan Grooms could give us a preview of Thursday's jam jokes. Yes. Well, she's restarting her Mac. We'll see how that works out for her. And the old 110 reset, unplug the damn thing. And that's how it works. Yeah. And thank you, John Wright, for checking in from Mason. Mason. Hi, Megan Miller. How are you? Hi, Scott and Scott. That's what it is. Megan, I may have to get you to dial in today. By the way, here's something interesting. If you have a comment on this stage volume thing, how about calling in today while I wait for my co-host and allow me, if I can, to put up on the screen the number for you to dial in on. So just hold tight a second. I'm going to do that. This is so much fun. There it is. So let me add that. And there it is, 937-479-5839. If you want to get in on the stuff here. And Ceris is rebooted and said nothing. So she's getting nothing. So I don't know what's going on. If it's her end, my end, any of that. I'm trying to look in settings here. If anything's guessed. No band guests. Best way to get guests. Upgrade the business plan. I'm not going to upgrade your $195,000 business plan. Sorry, I've already got a business plan with you. Guests can stream to their own destination. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can bring her in here somehow. Nope, not going to work. So if you want to dial in and give me a comment on this real quick, or otherwise I'm just going to say ixnay on the show today, and we'll get out of here. 937-479-5839 if you want to dial in today, give us a shot, and I'll get it all Bluetoothed in here and ready to go. And we'll see what shakes today. And we'll get connected to the device. No, it's not even connecting to there it goes. It's connected. So I'm waiting on your calls, patiently waiting on your calls. And we'll see. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see who's first up today on the old call. Could it be Ceris? Why don't you? But somehow I'm not hearing you, my dear. Hang on just a second. Let me get you Bluetoothed in here. Stand by. It takes a village. It does. There we go. Now you should be with me.
I'm here.
Oh, well, let's just do it by phone. You want to?
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't know. We're going to have to do some testing, side testing on this. Second time this has happened to you, and it's not happened to my other guests, so there's some connection we got going on between us. I don't know what's going on. So what do you think about this topic? We're talking about stage volume. I had an experience last Thursday with a band that basically ran off a bunch of customers, and then somebody got on Google and did a review on the venue saying it was so loud they couldn't have a good time, blah, 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 and then added a bunch of other crappy stuff because they were mad. You've had some experience with this as well. Talk to me.
Yeah, I just recently had, I mean, I've had this experience often, but I just recently had this experience this past weekend. It was awful. Phenomenal band. Like this is not an insult to the talent, to anything like that, but it's almost hard to appreciate it when your eardrums are ringing, you know? And the thing is, wasn't a very busy night, but the people we had in there, about half of them left. And when I asked why, because I asked, because, you know, it is what it is. They said it's just too loud. Like, it's just uncomfortable. Like, it's uncomfortable. And they told me where they were going instead. So listen, and then people that don't understand the difference between stage volume and a sound guy, it makes the sound guy look bad. And the sound guy is standing there trying to talk to these people on stage. My poor freaking sound man, who's incredible at what he does, is having to discuss this with the musician. And instead of listening and trying to work with him, they just keep competing with each other. So now the people that I did have, half of them are gone. And I have to leave because it's too loud. You can't barely hear the vocals.
Okay, you had to leave your own bar because it's too loud.
It was too damn loud.
And did you tell the band?
Listen, I let my sound guy deal with it because do you know how many times, I let my sound guy deal with it because I get told so often, but I'm going to be going back to it so often that, you're always up everybody's ass. You did it. So I hired a sound guy to try to handle these things, but I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to it because now I can't hire this guy again. I have told him before. I just felt bad. I felt bad for Jeff. It was bad. They're incredibly talented, but I don't know. I can't even comprehend why you would want to be that loud. It doesn't even sound good after a certain point.
Well, do you think it could be because the people on stage have been musicians for many years and they're just plain old deaf?
I don't know what it is, but when somebody's telling you that they can't hear your vocals and it sounds just like a whole lot of noise, maybe you need to readjust and figure out, maybe do in-ear, do something. I don't know. But, I've had sound guys who have been with their bands for many, many, many years. Bands that we all know and love very well have said to me, I can't do this anymore. They refuse to even try to listen and with their stage volume. I mean, if the sound guy is saying that and they're saying you're making it so hard for us to work, you don't need to be doing it. Does not need to be this way. Whatever the reasoning is, it's not working. And you're going, I can't speak for anybody else, but you're not going to be hired at my place. It was just too much. It was too much, way too much.
And, I've seen several times, specifically at the venue I was talking about on Thursday night, the owner or the general manager go up and say to the band, it's too loud. People are leaving. And it's like, you might as well just not talk to, or go talk to the concrete outside,
That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to take a step back and be like, okay, well, I hired one of the best sound guys. I'm going to let him handle these issues. And he did the best he can. But yeah.
Well, no matter how good a sound guy you are or girl,
it has nothing. Yeah.
If the stage volume is overbearing, you're never going to be able to compensate for that without cranking the vocals so loud. It's ear bleeding. And
to be fair, my sound guy made it very clear that this was coming from the owner,
Right. Ceris, I was sitting in the back of the venue with my decibel meter on my phone, which they're not great accurate, but they're a good, they're fairly good at what they do, the phone dB meters. And I was in the rear of the room beyond all the seats at the very back, and it's 110 decibels.
Yeah.
On a Thursday night, wine tasting night. People are there having conversation. They're enjoying it. They've got wine vendors. They're telling them about the wines and blah, blah, blah. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And now I will say the venue owner did say, hey, it's probably my bad for getting this big a band in on a Thursday, but it matched the theme of what was going on for the town for the night. They were having a big party in the town and all that. And it just wasn't fun. And this is not the first time I've seen that happen in small venues, big venues. If somebody posted earlier about Led Zeppelin, people holding if you go see Led Zeppelin back in the day, you expected it to be loud as hell. You did. That's just, you know what you're getting.
There's a thing, if you let it be controlled, by the sound, I'm not an expert, but if the sound is right, like mixed right, and that's why we have sound guys so they can control that, you know, and you just figure out a way to just utilize that. You can be as loud as you want because it will be mixed so well that you can still hear everybody. Like my bartenders couldn't hear a thing. They couldn't hear anybody ordering.
Yeah, you can't do your business that way. You can't run a business that way at all, and that's terrible. Hi, Carla. Thank you so much.
You know, Ken's on here, and I just want to give his sound guy a compliment because This band was there on Saturday, and I hadn't met this sound guy, and I thought after Friday I wasn't taking any chances. And I said to him, listen, let's just control the volume, especially at the start, because we don't want to blow everybody away. And he looked at me, and at first, he said something a little, I've been doing this a certain amount of time, and I was like, understood, but you've never done it in my bar, so let's just work together on this, And he was so beyond pleasant, and the sound was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
And let's face it, sound engineer is a thankless job, and the people that do it, everybody has an opinion. I mean, you should see the opinions on here just of how to fix the problem you and I were having with the feed. I mean, it's like everybody's got an opinion, but they don't know the program, the software, whatever they're using. And they don't understand, many patrons don't understand the term stage volume. And I sent you a video the other day of a guy talking about stage volume and all that. And he's been a sound engineer for 35 years. He does a little blog and all that about it. And he says, you can never overcome it. You're screwed. No. If the stage volume is too loud, you are totally screwed unless you can put bubbles over everybody. And they can just stand in this bubble. It wasn't
Alan, Chad. It was a different guy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm way behind on this. And hey, Kenneth, thank you for being here. Great band there. And yes, Daniel, 110 decibels. And the average over a period of 5 minutes was 96 in the back of the room.
That's ridiculous.
Not standing in the speaker, it's just, and here, and I'm going to say case in point again, I said the band is very good. Don't get me wrong. Not dogging the band out at all, except they're running sound from the stage. You cannot do that. It's just not in a venue like that. No.
I've spoken to Mark Bransford, and Eric brought it up again, just brought it up now. Some guitar players use amps that sound better at higher. There are specific amps that work for some venues and some that don't. There are certain amps will make all the difference, and you need to adjust. You need to get different. You need to get more than one amp then if this is what you're gonna do. Otherwise, listen, I've had to cancel a weekly gig for one of my favorite musicians because they were just too damn loud. And they're like, I have it all the way turned down. Well, then it's your amp. I don't know what to tell you. But when I am consistently having the same thing of people leaving because it's too uncomfortably loud, that's not us. But I'm losing business because of it.
Yeah, and Jonathan Grooms, thank you for that big comment there. I couldn't agree with you more.
It wasn't Alan, Chad. It was a new guy.
Jonathan, that problem was the crash cymbal. In a nutshell, the volume control issue from the stage was the guy playing drums and the crash. And you can fix that with a different cymbal that tones it down. You can even put, God forbid, tape on the back of it and simmer it down a little bit. But the crash cymbals, the whole thing, it was just ripping people's head off. And he was hitting it like he was coming from downtown with this swing on it. And, again, old school musicians, deaf. Some of them are deaf.
And you know what I'm tired of? I've heard it's so funny when some of them give me that phrase, if it's too loud, then you're too old. Cool, I'm too old. Can you tell the people that are no longer buying drinks at my bar because they're left that they're too old too? Or how about you work with the frickin' venue and you turn your fucking shit down and help me make some money? How about that?
Well, we've hit the fired up point today. There we go. I couldn't agree more, though. I mean, it's courtesy. It's not.
It's courtesy,
you're not
and if you
don't
care what happens in my bar, if you don't care that My customers are uncomfortable. If you don't, if it was one or two people, not a big deal, because that's all opinions, right? But if it is a consistent complaint over and over and over again, then it's not our problem. And there's a really good way to fix that problem. And that's, I just don't book you anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, you've solved some problems on like the jam night, I know, with shield around the drum kit and some things like that to try to lower that stage volume. And that, I mean, Jeff gets it dialed in pretty well. Is it loud? Yes, people can expect it to be loud on a Thursday a lot of times. You know, that's the nature of the beast. But if you're in there and it's just so ear bleeding, piercing loud that you're leaving, something's wrong. And look up from your damn iPad once in a while and look at the audience and say, oh, wow, we had a full room a minute ago. What happened?
That's the thing. And it's not really, listen, I don't have a big issue with the drummers. A lot of people are saying the drummers. It's not the drummers that I have a big issue. I have a drum shield. There's certain songs that are definitely going to be louder than others on drums. And I know that. And that's fine. I rarely have had a problem with the drummers. It's the guitarist. It's the lead guitarist or a guitarist. That's where my biggest problem is. That's where it's always been, the guitar or the bass, but mainly the guitar. And then they just start competing with each other, one after the other, and then you can barely hear the vocals, and then it just sounds like a mess. And I'm sitting there going, why in the world would you want this to represent your band? Why? Wouldn't you want something that like people would be like, man, that was really good. Can't wait to go back, instead of, yeah, we're going to hit another bar because this is just ridiculous. It's too loud.
Right. And on the converse side of this, people that come to a live music establishment should also understand and be courteous of the fact that there are musicians playing, and it is not designed for you to sip cocktails and discuss whether this is a hoppy beer or not. I mean, it's a live music venue. You know what I'm saying? So many times I think people come in with the expectation is, oh, it's all about our table and we're going to have this conversation, and we're oblivious to who's playing on stage and those kind of things. And that too, it plays into this. And you want to start a fire in a bar, let a couple people start talking table to table about it being too loud, and pretty soon it's running rampant. Like it's like,
oh yeah,
through the whole place, and people are going, we're out of here. We're getting out of here. Why don't we go somewhere else? And pretty soon the whole bar is getting up.
Yeah. And that's what happened. And that's happened. And that's, bad sound. And what really upset me is that, for people that don't understand, they blame the sound guy, and it's not the sound guy's fault. Jeff had it all the way down. It's not his fault.
No, and I not too long ago I saw a rock band too that I will tell you, and I was talking to their sound guy, and he's just shaking his head because he's a house sound guy for this place, and he's like, look at this, and he drops the mains completely out, took the whole main speaker system out, dropped it right out of the mix. The volume didn't change a bit. The stage volume and the wedge volume on the monitors that they were using, listening to themselves, was so freaking loud that he didn't need a main PA. But then you're getting it bouncing off the back wall. You're getting all that noise, and just, it's crazy. And I'm becoming more and more of a believer in the in-ear monitors, as Kevin Cooper's talking about here, and not using amps and using using the Helix or whatever you're using on the guitar. And a lot of guys, they like that tone off the amp. They like that stuff. And if you're a heavy rock band, I get it. You've played that way for years. It's hard to change and go to this new technology and stuff. But I've known a lot of guys that play in that technology now also that say it's saved what little hearing they have left on the stage,
And Taz has got a really good point. He says the issue becomes the customer blames or labels the bar as being loud, not the real guilty party. That's exactly it. People write reviews about the bar. Do you know what they write? Man, it was so loud in there. It doesn't need to be that loud for it being so small. And I understand that a lot of it is just, perspective or opinion. You know, I can take that in. I can understand that. But when I was there that night too, or whatever, you know, that should happen. Like, we're the ones that are getting the bad rep, and then these people aren't going to come back.
They're not doing a Google review on the band. They're not.
No, because we're the one that's hosting it. We're the one in charge.
Right.
We're the one that's taking the heat. We're the one that's losing the money. We're the one that's getting the bad rap. We're the one that's doing it, but we're also the ones that are paying you for you to lose me some damn fucking money. So why don't you work with me and stop?
And Bob Klein, I agree with your comment 100%. And that was part of the problem with this band I saw last Thursday. They play can I say shit ton, I guess, Ceris cusses, I can do that, of festivals outdoors. So it's okay to smash the drums when you're up on a stage and it's an outdoor festival. It's not killing the audience. But when you're inside a room or a tent or anything else, you got to be cognizant of that. And I think Bob's spot on with that, you know, and have some awareness. Awareness is the key. Be aware of the crowd, what they're doing. If they get up, you know, if they get up and start leaving, you need to take note of that stuff.
Especially when you're being told that they're getting up and leaving. That's right, Kevin. Quality wins out over quantity of sound. 100%. You can be as loud as you like. As long as the sound guy is controlling, it's so loud, but it won't even seem that way because it's mixed so well. And that is why you need to utilize the sound guy. That's like, it is insane to me. In-ear monitors are the way to go.
And Kevin Cooper, I couldn't agree more. And branding a bar and saying we have a decibel level. I know there's some big venues like the Taft and all that have a decibel level. It's so difficult for some of these bands that come in there when you hold your decibel meter up and start looking when the crowd's chatting, it's 85, you know, yeah. or 80 in the whole place. So, you know, to get over that, you got to be up there at 85, 90 to get over it. And I understand that completely. And I'm not a firm believer. I mean, I said earlier, I pulled out my decibel meter. I just wanted to see how loud it really was. But I'm also not a firm believer in that because I've had local law enforcement show up doing shows and bring out their decibel meter and say, oh, you're too loud. And
that's something we deal with too. Yeah, ever since they built those homes behind all those beautiful $1 million homes behind the bar, we had one person that consistently complained. Well, we weren't even close to the decibel meter, you know, like to what it was. He just, you're shit out of luck, buddy. You should have done your research. You bought a house behind a bar. I don't know what to tell you, but we weren't even close. So we have one too, and I'm not kidding you. My eardrum was hurting. I was like, this isn't normal, dude. This isn't normal.
No, and you're in there all the time too with different bands. So, I mean, you're a little bit kind of desensitized to the noise and the sound where, you know, I mean, what about somebody there on their first time there? I mean, think about that. You've lost a customer.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just being a really, negative Nancy and a little picky bitch, and I'm just tired. So when I say it's loud, I always ask the people around me, and I'm like, is it actually loud, or am I just being a little bitch tonight? And they'll tell me if I'm being a little bitch. But there's times when I'm looking at my bartenders and they can't hear shit. They all have ear things in, you know, everybody was like, you know, and then there's, you know, it's just undeniable because my regulars, my loyal regulars are getting up and leaving. Straight up leaving. We can't care. This is so uncomfortable.
Thank you, Daniel. It's about reading the room. We've said that about so many different things. If you're in a band and you don't look up at the room and you don't understand the dynamic going on out in the audience, you really need to, because they're the people that get you back. Thank you, Emily.
It goes back to this whole, you know, we play, you know, like, I get you're playing for yourself. I get you love it. That's why you play those deep tracks. That's why you're doing this. That's why you're doing that. But then stop fucking like, but I'm supposed to freaking pay you. You know what I mean? And I pay you. I'm supposed to pay you, but you're bitching that I'm bitching. Well, aren't you supposed to help me make money too? Aren't you supposed to do, you know, like you gotta be willing to compromise with me. You can't just play deep tracks. You can't just have it at any volume you want. If you want to be hired by bars, if you want to work in bars and get paid, then fucking work with me, dude. Work as a team, bro. Let's be a team.
You know what it reminds me of, Ceris? And years ago, I was, I worked in the fire department. We'd go have lunch with the kids and at the schools, and the kids would get all uptight about us being there and get all hyped up. And in this cafeteria / gymnasium thing that they had in the elementary school, they had a light level meter on the wall that showed the level of noise. And if it gets to a certain point, everybody has to stop talking and shut up. And for the kids, because they're getting over the level of sound. And I'm thinking, maybe that's how juvenile we need to be in the bar business sometimes, and put that in the back of the room and say, hey, band, look at that meter back on the back wall back there. And if the LED gets up to the red level, you need to back it off a little bit. I don't know. But it's juvenile, but yes.
It's almost, I'm at that point. A lot of people have mentioned now in the comments that maybe like using contracts. I'm almost at that point. I hate to frickin' be that person, but I can't afford to lose business because you got to play who's got a bigger dick, bro, on stage. I don't know what to tell you. Figure it out. But don't do it on my frickin' stage.
Rick says, sounds like a great idea. And now there's an example. There's Rick Hansen.
That's right, Rick Piper.
Rick Hansen, thank you for that, because I saw their band on Saturday in the same venue. There was an issue on Thursday with Too Loud, and they had a sound man out in the audience. The engineer, his sound was perfect. The quality of the sound was wonderful. The audience had a great time, and he had to compensate because it started pouring the rain and everybody kind of stuffed in under the tents. And he had to compensate for that noise level and get over it. And he did a great job without making it totally unbearable. And just their sound guy is just perfect. He did a wonderful job. And you walk away from an experience like that and you say, yeah, this was a good night. Where the other band, it didn't even listen to the owner who told him.
Well, that was, I'm going to say this because I know I'm like being extra bitchy right now. I have far more good experiences than I do negative ones when it comes to sound. I don't want you to think that, this is, man, since Mark put in that new system, and Mark and Jeff have been running it. Somebody else runs it with him. It's slipping my mind. He does Blackbone Cat. Everything sounds incredible when it's left to the sound guy. You know what I mean? When it's in ear, when everything is left to the sound guy, it can be as loud can be, but you don't know it because it's so freaking beautiful, dude. It's so beautiful. It's mixed beautifully. Everything is freaking beautiful. But it's just when there's these certain types of amps that people continue to use I need it loud, or because I can't hear. Well, figure it out, dude. Figure it out. Get in ears. You get a different amp. Figure your shit out, because that's the reason why you no longer play here during the week, and that's the reason why you're no longer going to be playing on the weekend. Yeah, Mongo. Love that guy.
Yes, Mongo just helped do a 3-day festival. He did a great job with me, and
thank you.
Wonderful. And Mike Coons helped with that as well and did a great job. But there are people out there who are pros, and Jeff Vance.
Mark, and Mongo are phenomenal.
He takes a lot of crap sometimes, and sound guys do. And nobody as a sound engineer wants to hear you in their ear telling them how to fix it. If they've got a sound problem going on, it's usually something they're trying to let the old brain waves work and figure out what's happening here and how can I fix it and get it back on track. And leave the sound guy alone. If you're not a touring sound engineer, then get the hell out of their ear and let them figure out what's going on the stage. And, I've been guilty of that, saying, oh, I can't hear the vocals in the mains and blah, blah, blah. And then, sometimes they're dealing with other things and they're like, oh, you're right. The vocals aren't coming through the right side of the mains or something. There's something going on in cabling or this or that. And they fix it. But very rarely do I ever try to give sound guys advice. In fact, Jeff Vance and I joke about needing more snare all the time. That's our funny standing joke. Oh, give me more snare because I can't hear that as it rips through my ears, from the band.
Yeah.
And he has to deal with all that. He has to deal with it. And yeah,
Bob wrote a really good comment. He said, unfortunately, patrons don't remember the nights when the sound was amazing, but they'll tell everyone they know when it sucks. I mean, that's with everything, but in general, you know, nobody ever wants to touch on when it's amazing, but hence the show. But it's true. Like, I wish more people took the time to write positive reviews about how the sound was great and yada, yada, yada. But they don't. People just don't do that, right?
no,
They want to sing. They want to complain. They want the negative and they want to complain. And yes, Mark Bransford is incredible. Jeff is incredible. Mongo is incredible. I mean, extremely blessed that they do sound at the bar, you know?
There are some great sound people out there. Chad is a great sound guy. Kenny Patterson, a great sound guy. I've worked with him in numerous shows.
I just don't know. There's a ton of great sound guys. These are just the ones that I'm just mentioning ones that consistently do my bar. I'm not trying to leave anyone out.
And by the way, Kevin Cooper, that may be the comment of the day. That you could not describe Jeff Vance any better than he has the calm demeanor of a driver's ed instructor. The guy never gets rattled, man. I don't care what's going bad, what's going south. He gets it fixed. And yes.
Yeah, he is good.
We love Mongo. I do. Yeah. Mark Bransford. Mark's been very good with me as well, and sending me things so I can hear the stripped down versions of things where he's pulled a vocal off and all that, so you can really hear how good the vocalist was. And he's a class act as well. So Corona says whoever does sound for Under the Sun makes them sound better than the Beatles. Very good sound quality. There we go.
Yeah.
And yes. And Todd Buck, Dewey, Todd Buck has a superhuman ear. That guy, he can produce sounds that are CD quality. And I was going to bring that up. We were kind of bashing on drummers a little bit out there in the comments. Doug Drew, that plays with DV8, and he played with what was formerly known as Dreamboat Annie. Now, I don't know if they're going to play again or not, but they were at the Taft one night. I went to see their supposed final show and all that. And Doug Drew picked different drumsticks. He did different things because of the decibel level in there, and made it sound just perfect. I mean, it was just wonderful. And the drums would have been the problem with the requirement in that venue for a dB level. And there's a pro right there, Doug Drew. He knows his craft and he knows his drums.
Wow, Doug Drew.
Yeah. And I mean, he's one of those guys that can play anything and doesn't overplay it either. I mean, he's a consistently great drummer, and that's cool.
Hi, Carla. Thanks, Carla.
What else we got here? Got a couple more things going here, and then we got to get out of here today. And Karis, we got to get together here in the next few days and figure this out with the feed. I don't know what's going on there. There might be a setting on yours, and we'll just we'll have to FaceTime and look at your settings and see what we can do there, because that's.
I mean, they haven't changed.
It's very unusual. Well, it doesn't mean that it didn't change itself. That's kind of part of this whole platform thing. Sometimes I find my echo cancellation gets turned off, and I didn't turn it off, but it just turns itself off. So, and Carla says Karis is fired up for a good reason. Yeah, no bar owner wants to lose money. Period.
No, I don't. I really don't.
You can't afford to. I mean, I
can't. Not nowadays, you know?
No. You're
not any days,
you're competing
really.
Against enough stuff. We've talked about all that. I mean, you're competing against, and not even talking about other venues, just the way of the world today. It's tough.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I don't compete with other venues. That's the thing. It's like, we're still busier than we've ever been, but people just aren't drinking as much. Guess what? I make my money off drinks. So, it's like, if they're not staying, then I have zero chance of making any money off those drinks.
Thank you, Daniel, for that comment about where musicians want to crank it up. Yeah. And the louder it gets, the more crap it sounds.
It's true, Daniel. It's true, 100%. That's what happens. That's what happened. It's like the guitars went up, then the bass went up, then the guitars, and then all of a sudden the vocal sounded like this. And you're like, what the fuck?
I'm listening to Guar. Oh my goodness. Well,
and listen, you all know I'm not, I'm not a a delicate flower. So when I start getting pissed, it's time for me to go.
Really? I'm just going to say, you can't see my facial expressions right now, probably.
Yes, I can. I'm watching the show.
You're delicate flower. Yeah, sure you are. And Brandon woke up late from his old man nap. Thanks, Brandon, for being here, buddy. I hope to see you tomorrow night. And what is this? Where and when do we send a gig announcement to be on the show? Well, Paul, I'm going to tell you right now. You hit our direct messenger, if you will, and just send it to me. Name the band, the location, date, time, and anything special you want mentioned, and I'll get it on the list. You got to get it to me by Thursday at noon to make the list. That's how it works. That's how it works. And Karis, you got anything else on this topic?
No, I'm sure I've made lots of friends with it.
Me too. Me too. Bob Klein. Love you, Bob. Yes.
It's true.
Yes, Bob Klein. And Kevin Cooper says your band can be too loud for the human ear to discern how to mix. Sound guy doesn't stand a chance even if he tries to mix. Yeah, and I mean, follow some of these pro sound guys that do the blogs online and all that, and that's the number one thing they'll tell you is stage volume is the killer of all mixes. And if you
sorry, Brandon, I couldn't log for some reason. We couldn't get me on, so I'm on phone. Sorry about that.
Yes, the voice is out there. She's in the abyss right now, but
I'm in the abyss.
I don't know what the hell happened, but
and I look good today too, y'all. I got my hair done. I look like $1 million. I was all excited to show you how pretty I look.
Oh gosh, goodness. What's going on at the bar this weekend? Tell us.
Oh, this weekend, yeah. So tonight we have our PB&J. We have our PB&J, which is $2 PBRs, $3 Jamesons all day long. And tomorrow I'm really excited for this because we have I booked Dell and Rob, so they're going to do their show. But we also have Russ from Under the Sun. He's going to do the first half, and then Rob Olson is coming to join Dell for the next half. Thursday we have our jam. Friday we have Linus Tate, and then on Saturday we have Bad Habit.
Bad Habit, a Cincinnati.
So lots of
staple.
rock and roll this weekend, y'all.
Is it going to be loud?
No, actually, these all know exactly how to fucking control their sound.
How about that? How about that?
How about that?
How about that? Well, hey, I'll be hosting Wonderful Night of Trivia tonight at the Miamisburg Moose if you want to join me there. And then I got to get in a shameless plug for all you people that watch the show. I would love to see some of you stop in at Heather's on a Wednesday night and play Name That Tune with us. It's a blast. Ask Brandon Harvey. He's there every week. And we'd love to have you there on a Wednesday. Starts at 7 o'clock. Heather's on the patio. 3 rounds of music trivia. You name the song and the artist. And I give you great prizes.
I need to make it out there.
You do.
This year.
You do. All right. Well, we hopefully by next. Yeah, I said dat, Chris Reese. Hopefully by next week, we'll have this technical difficulty fixed with Karis. It's the second week in a row we've had to play with that a little bit. I don't understand it. So
yeah,
we'll figure it out. And until then, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Get out this week and support live local music and the bands and venues that bring it to you. That would be wonderful. And Brandon is giving me a shameless plug here. Says, damn, Skippy, it's a good time. Scott loves to country stump him. I do every once in a while. And Kara plays every week too, and she and her husband Rob are big winners. I was just putting together the list of points. They get points for being there, and then they get points for being first, second, third place, all that stuff. And Kara and Rob, as a duo, are doing quite well in the point standings to make the celebrity finals at the end, as we call it. So good stuff. Thank you, Kevin Tolles. And appreciate you. And thank you, Karis, for being here by phone today. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Well, I like it.
Is that all I get?
Well, I mean, it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, where'd you get that country bumpkin accent today?
I don't know. It's just something I'm doing today.
I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching today. We'll see you next time here at All Around Town Radio. Tomorrow, join me Wednesday with the band at noon. Thursday, Who's Playing Out at 5. We'll be right here. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.
How many more weeks can we talk about volume on the stage, people?
Come on now.
Fix that stuff. Yes, fix it.
Working for the
Welcome for the weekend.
Then I wanna see
A show.
I flip on the book of face.
The book of face.
Welcome, face.
Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there.
Who that?
Into the music scene.
Oh, I gotta go.
Never seen.
I gotta